one thing that's near and dear to everybody here on the panel is trying to communicate between systems. It came up a number of times in the surveys, and one thing that I think a lot of us are facing right now is that demand and supply are not evenly balanced. So trying to find animals in the other parts of the community, or maybe even outside your community, and transporting them is becoming a much more pertinent issue. So how do you make sure you understand where the animals are, and how do you make sure that we get them to the right places? So Mike.
This is, there's one relatively new tech solution for this that's still very much in the works, but you can get on and start using it today if you want. Who uses Doobert? Has anyone used Doobert before? Cool.
Doobert.
It's a matchmaker for shelters who would like to, or organizations who need to transport animals, and those who are able and willing to receive them, and then provides the piece in the middle, the actual transportation portion of things. So I always say, like, it's like Match.com and Uber and Amazon Prime for dogs and cats, you know, all mixed together. So that's something that, again, you can get on and start using today. And I know that there are some other folks in the audience who are helping to work on Doobert, but that's a relatively new technology that you can start using. And I think that Greg built into, you have some. Nothing in particular.
Doobert was used very successfully in the wake of Hurricanes Harvey and Irma. So, young technology solutions get tested in situations like this, and the reports are that Doobert did very, very well in both of those situations.
Yeah, I also want to mention that a number of us have started getting involved in talking about how we get all these systems to talk to each other and try to create some hub or some way of exchanging information more easily, so that when you transfer animals, you also transfer the paperwork and the records between shelters. So, yeah.
Are the major players that are involved in animal transport, HSUS, ASPCA, when these huge disasters hit, are they on there? We're a shelter in Westminster. We had a ton of space with the last I want to say, thank you, yes. We could not find anywhere or anybody to talk to get animals from them and help.
Yeah.
We can easily house 75 dogs. I think we had 15 at the time. We could find no one to help us.
I think we all realized that when Harvey happened, that we were being extremely reactive and we were way behind in terms of providing the communication and so on. And we tried to start working on it, and then Irma happened, and we were still behind, and so on. So we're trying to prepare for next season, but we're still not quite there. We're working on it, but still not quite there. You want to?
Yeah, so I've been involved in the disaster rescue, but not in the transport of animals component. I have literally nothing to say about that, because I've been involved in the how do we provide people who are on the ground and who are leaving their homes or can't get to their homes a single place to report that their pets are in need, or their animals are in need. It might be horses or donkeys or whatever, that their animals are in need, and how do we get that information into one place and into the hands of whatever is the appropriate animal organization that is authorized to work in that area, and then how do we track those animals when they get in the system so that person will be able to find their pet regardless of whether they went into a chameleon shelter or Pet Point or ShelterLuv or whatever. So there's a lot of work going on that. But unfortunately, I have literally nothing to say about the transporting of those pets in those situations.
One of the things I think everybody could do, and this is absolutely low tech, is create alliances up ahead. So if something happens, and we actually had an example of that in California with the wildfires last October, where there were existing alliances between shelters in the area, and exactly what you're mentioning happened, that shelters that had space pulled animals from the shelters close to where the disaster was taking place to make room for new animals. And it went as far as going way outside the area, so basically animals were sort of sent away to other areas that didn't have the problems. These are things that you can all think about in advance and think about who do I want to work with, and make sure that when things then go wrong, that you have those relationships set up already.